So, it's the week we've all been waiting for. And by we, I mean all of us in training. It's swearing week. Or it was. Because swearing's on Thursday and I make these videos on Sundays. So, yeah. But, yeah, so Monday we left Santa Clara forever. Well, not really forever. Like, we have the option to go back and visit and stuff like that. But, like, it's a little weird. Especially because it's, like, been off at home for the last 3 months. Or, really, it's not 3 months, like 2.5. But, yeah. So, rode the Mama Cha-Cha one last time. Good old faithful Diablo Rojo. Yeah. And this week really was just a lot of, like, last minute sessions on, like, policies and how to take vacation and, like, prepping us for, like, being sent out into the world of Peace Corps. And then, like, things that they're going to follow up on at IST, which is, like, 4 months down the road. And everything. And so, yeah. It's a lot of, like, prepping up. We stay in the dorms for the week, which is cool. Because, 1, they have air conditioning. 2, they say they have hot water. But both times we've stayed, I have not had hot water. Though, I did go steal hot water from my friend, because she did, and when I say hot water, it was more like warmer than lukewarm, but not like scalding, but it was better than a freezing cold shower, which is what I was used to taking, or what I am used to taking, and I don't like them, unless it's like 5 million degrees outside and I'm sweating, then I like them. But on a general day, after you spend all day in air conditioning, the last thing I want to do is go spend a day, or spend, you know, my time showering in a freezing cold shower. But yeah. So, but it was also nice just to kind of like hang out with the rest of our group and just hang out before we all scatter the country and can't leave our sites for 3 months, minus official Peace Corps stuff and like to buy groceries and whatnot. Especially for those, like, you know, not in my province. Like, I'll see the people in my province because we have regional meetings and it's easier to get to them and whatnot. But, like, I won't see the others till, like, the Christmas party 3 months from now. But, yeah. But it was a good week. Though the Wi-Fi was terrible, so I couldn't do a lot of the computer stuff I wanted to. But it's all good. I'll survive. Because once again, there were wants, not showing needs. So, yeah. But, yeah, it was a good week. And, or like, first few days of the week. Because Friday I came to site. So, yeah, for good. But, yeah, so we did a lot of, like, last minute stuff. Signing paperwork, receiving official cards, all that greatness. And then Thursday was swearing day. It's pretty good. We kind of had the morning to chillax, not do too much, kind of prep up for swearing. We went to the Canal Museum to have it, and like the ambassador was there and some representatives from PSAPAS, which is a branch of MINSA, which is the Ministry of Health here in Panama, which we work closely with, especially PSAPAS because it works specifically with the water part of things. And then another person from the ag equivalent, but I don't know what it's called, because I'm not an ag volunteer. But yeah, so they were there and they spoke, and then our director of Peace Corps country director spoke, and the ambassador spoke and officially swore us in, and we had to get up and speak and mention our names, where we're from, what program we're in, and where we're going in the country. Which I was pretty proud of myself because I nailed it, and some of the people who were like in the advanced level struggled. So I was like, Yeah, I'm rocking. So yeah. But yeah, and they had hors d'oeuvres afterwards, which was nice. We also took like bastante photos. Which bastante in Spanish is just like a lot. And it's a common word used here in Panama. But yeah, we took a lot of photos. And then we had some hors d'oeuvres, which were pretty nice because they were like Americanized hors d'oeuvres. So they didn't include like rice, which was great. Like they were like silver dollar chicken salad sandwiches. Pretty great. Yeah. So that was fun. And then Elizabeth and I went and hung out and had tacos before we all got together to celebrate that night. We went salsa dancing, which I learned how to salsa dance, which was pretty, it's actually easier than I thought it was. And yeah, so had a good time salsa dancing with everyone. Like we all went to this like sushi place does salsa dancing on Thursday nights, which is kind of a random thing for a sushi place to do, but I mean it's Panama, so yeah. Yeah, so the sushi place does salsa dancing on Thursday night. Well, because there was a whole bunch of gringos in there, they were like, we're gonna teach them. So they taught us how to salsa and also bachata, which is a different dance, and which is even simpler than salsa. So yeah, we learned that, and then we just like broke off in pairs and danced for an hour or two, and then we went and all had like a big celebration at this different place and danced and ate and had a good time. Yeah. And then we had to get up super early on Friday so that we could eat breakfast, grab the last of our like paperwork stuff, and then catch a bus to Albrook, the main terminal that goes through all the country, so we could go to our sites. So yeah, which was a struggle for me because I have like so much stuff, and even though I brought stuff on my site visit, I still had more stuff. But that's also because I bought stuff. So in the future, if I were to do this again, I would be like, Shelby, don't buy stuff for your site until you've taken all the other stuff there and then buy stuff. Because, yeah, I have too much. Yeah. So I got here in the afternoon. Oh, another fun, interesting thing. We took the bus from Panama to Panama. It was one of the small buses, which means it doesn't have like storage underneath the bus to house all of our stuff. And there was 4 of us on that bus that were all volunteers, which means we all had plenty of stuff. So like they were like stacking it in between people, and these buses are not like, they're meant to maximize occupancy, not comfort. So they're already cramped in general, and then you throw in all of our stuff, and yeah, these people probably hated us. These Panamanians are probably like, what's with the gringos? Like, what's happening? Luckily for me, my stop for my Chiva to my town is right around the corner, so I didn't have to walk too far with my stuff. And luckily the Pavo, which is the like bus assistant, which also means turkey, which I find very humorous when you think about it. Yeah, anyway, I digress. He came over and he was like, you're going to Global, aren't you? I was like, yes. How'd you know? He was like, I remember you. You're the gringo. I'm like, yes, I am. So, I'm known by the Pavo, or by one of the Pavos. So he helped me with my stuff. And then I ended up having to pay for 2 seats because my stuff took up 2 seats in this Chiva. Which is fine. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I paid $2.50. So like I didn't spend too terribly much, and like by my budget, I'm good. And whatnot, but it was still pretty funny because I was just like, yeah, I'm that girl with all this stuff. But it's okay. I made it here. Yeah, so I got here in the afternoon on Friday, and then I think I scared my host mom, because I don't think she was prepared for me to come this particular day. I don't know if well, she's kind of older, so I don't know if she knows or knew that I was coming. So, I don't know. But yeah, so had lunch with her, unpacked my stuff, took a nap because I was like super exhausted because we all stayed up late talking and hanging out the night before, and then like I got up super early, went to one bus, went to another bus. Like traveling in general makes you tired, and then yeah, it's just a combo of things. So I took a nap, which is pretty great, which is actually really common here, which siestas. It's not like, there's not like official siesta, but like it's very common for people to just like take an afternoon nap or whatever. Which is good for me because I like naps. But yeah, so I took a nap and that was very refreshing. And unpacked some of my stuff. I didn't organize any of it because like I didn't buy everything I needed because I knew I wouldn't be able to carry it all. So I went to Pananome on Saturday to go buy stuff, but on Friday I just kind of hung out, relaxed, didn't do too much, just trying to like catch up on sleep and just reacclimate, because we had spent the week speaking English, minus like small spurts, and oh yeah, I got my language results back, same level, not surprised. I figured that the more I speak Spanish, like the higher I'll get. And considering I have to speak Spanish here every single day, because no one speaks English, it's a pretty good possibility. Yeah. So, yeah, we spent all week speaking English, so I had to get back into that like Spanish mindset. And yeah, so didn't do too much Friday. Saturday, however, I went to Pananome. I didn't get up super early. I just got up like 8-ish, whatever, and went to Pananome. And went to Pananome and bought stuff. Went to the RL house for a little snippet, and then came and bought stuff. And then, yeah, went and bought groceries. That's another fun adventure. Especially when you don't know the names for all the produce, and you're asking a sales associate, where is XYZ? And you don't really know the word for sweet potato. So you say Papa Dulce, and they just look at you like you're crazy, because that's not really the word for sweet potato. So yeah. But yeah, so that was a fun adventure. Also, like, grocery stores here are so different from America, because, you know, in America, there's like a small section for rice, or a small section for ketchup, or even a small section for mayonnaise. There are not whole aisles dedicated to each of those items, but here, there are. So, oh, and Spam too, I forgot about Spam. So, if you know, you feel like you want some rice, or Spam, or ketchup, or mayonnaise, there's Bastante here. Because they dedicate whole aisles to it, which is interesting. But yeah, so yeah, and then luckily the supermarket is like right next to my bus stop also, because I have these 2 storage bins that I had bought from Superfuerte, to like store some of my stuff in, because there's not really shelving or anything in my room. So I didn't want my stuff just sitting on the floor, so I bought these storage bins, but then I had to carry them, and they were fine when they were just the storage bins and the pillow I bought. But then I bought food and put them in the storage bins, and then I had to carry them from the Supercarnes, which is the supermarket, to my bus stop, which if it had been any further, I'm pretty sure I would have killed someone. Just because it's just very heavy. And I'm glad, because I thought about buying a laundry hamper then, and then I was like, no, because I had to carry it, and it's already awkward with these storage bins, so I'm not going to buy it now. And I'm really glad I didn't, because my ride back was super uncomfortable because I had these giant things in my lap, and there's already no space on these things, on these Chivas. Like, they take minivans, but they gut them, and they add, like, you know, like a normal minivan has like 7 seats. These are minivans with like 16 seats, okay? And yeah, and that means because people are trying to save money, if they have their kids with them, then they put their kids on their lap so they don't have to pay for 2 seats. And if you have your stuff with you, you also put that on your lap, which means if you go shopping, because most people here do not have cars, you have your stuff, but then you have the person next to you with their kid on top of them who's screaming, most likely, because that's what they do on these Chivas. And then they also have their stuff with them, which usually includes a backpack and like groceries of some sort, and like big, like when we buy bags of rice in the US, that's child's play. These people have 25-pound bags of rice. And that's like the standard that people buy. Like, there's no little, oh, let me buy a little thing of rice. No, it's giant. So yeah, you're like cramped up in this thing. There's no AC. And anytime you stop, you want to kill people because it's like really, really hot. And the only thing blowing in air is the fact that you got the windows open. And yeah. So that's like what it's like riding on one of these Chivas. Like, there are Chivas where it's like a pickup truck with like a roll cage over it. And I kind of wish I had one of those as my Chiva, because then I could stuff, like, my storage bins would have fit under, which means like I would have been squished in, but my stuff wouldn't have been on top of me, and it was kind of heavy. And I was sweating when I got out of the Chiva, because it's an hour-long ride. Yeah. There's more of a breeze on the other ones, but beggars can't be choosers. So, yeah. The next time I go to Bename, though, I'm going to buy a laundry hamper. So, we'll see how that goes. And, yeah. Oh no, it's weird. But yeah, so I went to Bename on Saturday. When I got back, my host mom was gone. She's going to visit her mom in Bename. And she stayed the night there. And then, yeah, what else did I do? Oh, I tried to organize, but I got overwhelmed just by my sheer amount of stuff. So yeah. And then, yeah, today I have organized more. Looks better. Still not great, but better. And I went towards the school, so there'd be a Wi-Fi for a little bit. And I downloaded a couple of things like books. And what else did I do? Oh, I went to Jessica's house and visited for a while, and then ended up visiting with another family. She lives right next to the school, and I had like seen her in passing when I'd come for my visit, but I didn't get a chance to talk to her. And so she was like, "Oh, come in." And so I talked with her and her nephew and nephew's wife for a while, and super nice people. So that was really fun. Yeah. So gonna spend the next week trying to learn more people's names and where they live. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Oh, and fun news, one of the outgoing volunteers let me borrow his external hard drive for a little bit, so I was able to copy it onto mine, and he has like bastante movies and TV shows. which has been great because I can watch them when I get bored at night. Because everyone goes to bed at 7. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, so I'm trying to adjust to my life, and just go and visit people, meet people, and learn more about the aqueduct and the water needs of my community, which is not as glamorous as it sounds, because really all it is, it's called pasear in Spanish. They have a whole verb associated with it. Like, there's nothing like, we don't really have a verb like this. And it's essentially like when you say, oh, voy a pasear, or estoy paseando. Everybody knows what you're talking about. But if you were to say something like that here, they'd be like, what are you talking about? But it's basically, and by here I mean the US, assuming that you're US people watching this. But yeah, so it just means like you're gonna go to someone's house randomly without like an invitation or anything. Usually they're sitting on their front porch most of the time. If not, they're in their house, and if you just like say, hola, ¿cómo estás? They're like gonna come out, and then they're gonna offer you treats. Usually bananas, at least that's my experience so far. Everyone just offers me bananas. They're like, hey, you want some guineos, which is Spanish for banana? And I'm like, sure. And then I eat bananas. Or sometimes it's crackers, or whatever other random stuff they give you. And then you sit and talk for a while, and sometimes there's long periods of silence, and it's very different. But this is like common in their culture, so yeah. And it's a way to like meet people and learn more about them, and yeah. So that's what I do with my time. But I'm also like inadvertently conducting an analysis that I have to present on in 3 months, and also write a paper on. But yeah, so could you just talk about why you're here, what Peace Corps does, what your role is, ask them about, their life, their kids, if that's applicable, things related to water and the trees and all the fun stuff. And yeah, if they have any diseases that they think are related to water, fun stuff like that. So like, just finding fun ways to incorporate those topics into my conversation with people. Yeah, so every day I have a goal. Goal is to hit 2 houses a day. And like, I know it seems like, couldn't you hit more? But you don't understand, like, when you go to Pasear, you're usually there like 3-4 hours. And yeah, so you can only do that for so long. And it gets like real dark when it gets dark. And it gets dark at like 6:30. No, like 6. Yeah, it gets dark at 6. And there's no time change here, and there's no like differentiating, like, there are different like fall, winter, spring, summer, and like you can kind of guess what time it's gonna get dark based on that. Like, this is the same all year round because we're so close to the equator. Like, there's no real difference. And the sun does the same thing. So yeah. Yeah. So that's what I do with my life. Pasear. So stay tuned for next week and see how awkward it probably was. Because it probably was. Because when you're just like the random gringo who speaks sort of Spanish, and then everybody else speaks super fast, and then you're just like, I have no idea what's happening, and then I'm just gonna randomly show up on your door and talk to you about water. Yeah, it's fun and awkward. This is my life now. And on that note, hasta luego. Have a good week.